2 weeks ago, we locked our parents out.
Why are we locked out of the house?
We then surprised them with the news we're going to build their dream home.
No way!
And to our surprise, they took it quite well. And obviously, we couldn't make them homeless.
This is where you're staying? No, you're winding us up. I'm not winding you up.
They were going to stay in a container tiny home. And over the last 2 weeks of them living in the container, they're seeming to get pretty comfortable. Which is only because they have no idea what's going on back at home. Last week, we uncovered so many hidden problems. The house had a bathroom leak years ago which caused the ceiling to collapse. It also has 60-year-old, way outdated, dangerous electrics. And back to the parents, we found out we smashed down Mum's favourite wall. So as you can imagine, we had work to do. We fixed the dodgy ceiling, reinstalled a wall but better, and we even started adding our own electrics. So we're going into this episode with the hopes that no more problems will occur. Last week we left the kitchen dining area looking like this. And the only hope for us to bring this room back to life is with our good friend Gavin. His mission today is to plaster this whole thing. He's already fixed the dodgy wall.
Yeah, that was dodgy as hell.
He even put up with us idiots trying out all his tools.
Not me for me!
They're so loose.
But thankfully he wasn't fazed. He was a man on a mission to make this room as beautiful as he can for our parents. So whilst he cracked on, we actually stepped aside and stayed away from the whole room. He wanted to surprise us with the results of the room once he had finished. So for the remainder of the day and into the early hours of the night, Gavin was working hard.
Right, so Gav has been working on plastering this place for 13 hours today, which is crazy. And we're about to see it for the first time. I'm so excited.
Yo! This looks so sick! Yo, Gavin, man!
And already the kitchen diner was coming to life.
Gavin, you're a legend, man. Really, man.
It was at this point I started not to like Gavin. He had done such a good job on the walls that all I could think about was how bad the floor was looking. And before we can install any kitchen units, we are about to install something our parents have always dreamed of. But right now there are a few things in the way.
Perfect.
Plumber.
Lovely.
We're saying goodbye to the downstairs sink and toilet so we can smash up the few remaining bits of old flooring. And that's because the whole downstairs is going to have underfloor heating. For as long as I can remember, this flooring has been down. And when I tell you this is the inspiration for us to get underfloor heating, I am not lying. It's the coldest floor ever. So getting rid of this was the best day of the series so far. This is crazy. We are in the bathroom right now and everything is out. Goodbye sink, goodbye toilet, hello space. Well done, babe. Smashed up.
We smashed it right up.
Woo! Floor is now completely level and clear. We've now got to tackle the living room, make this room empty and pucker because right now it's not really in a state to get on the floor screeded and heated and pucker. Let's clear it. Sweet, the whole room is now clean and empty, ready for the underfloor heating to go down. But you may notice there is some original parquet flooring down. And you're probably wondering, why don't we keep it, restore it, and make it look pucker? I hate it. How about you, Dan?
I hate it.
Maddie?
I hate it.
We all hate it.
As you can tell from the start of the series, our parents also hated it as they covered it over with old laminate flooring.
Now, we've read your comments, and we know this stuff is super expensive and worth a lot of money, but secondhand, you can't get that much for it, and it would just leave us with a gaping hole if we were to get rid of it, and we'd have to fill it over with concrete to level it like the kitchen, and we might even lose money in that process.
So instead of taking it all up, we're just gonna lay over everything all at once, starting with the first step of the underfloor heating. The first thing we have to do is cover every square inch with this insulation board.
And these stop our heat from going into the floor.
And to install this is super simple. We're treating the insulation boards as if they were a tile. With standard adhesive, we're using a notch trowel, spreading it evenly in pucker and squishing it into place. And I can't tell you guys how excited we are to be installing this. Growing up, we have always had cold toes walking around the house. And the one thing Dad used to always complain about was the cost of heating the home. And that's why we're going above and beyond. We're going to have the kitchen dining area set on a separate zone to the living room so he can control one room at a time. Meaning to stay warm, he doesn't have to heat up the whole house. And on top of this, we've got him another surprise, which we're going to share with you guys later on in the video. But for now, we managed to get all the insulation boards down on the floor. Everywhere you look, has installation boards. The doghouse, the understairs bathroom, the hallway, the kitchen, the living room, everything's looking pucker, and we're finally ready for the second stage of the underfloor heating. And you guessed it, the actual heating element. But this isn't your normal underfloor heating. It's essentially just an electric cable that runs throughout a mat. And to install it, all you do is unroll it and stick it to the floor. And within 5 minutes, we already had the living room done. This was sent to us by a super generous company called The Heating Partnerships. And a huge thank you to them, because without their support, our parents couldn't have underfloor heating. And as easy as that, our whole downstairs was now covered. Now, you may be wondering, why are there loads of bald spots everywhere? And that is a strategic under order. Not only does it save on power consumption, it also is only bald in the spots you don't need underfloor heating. For example, like in the doghouse, understairs cupboard, and under the dining table, where you're never going to stand. The important area to be covered is the living room area, and we have covered every square inch, apart from the one corner over there. And that's because later on in the series we're installing a log burner, Mum and Dad's dream, which is super exciting. But for now, it's time for us to move on to the third stage of the underfloor heating stuff. And yes, that was the extra surprise we got for our parents. If they get bored of their new underfloor heating, they can chuck a fire on. Now the scariest part about all that is there's no going back. We have to get this whole room done. That's so thick.
That is such a big boy.
There's a cable sticking out.
Little did we know, later on, that cable comes back to haunt us. But we sorted out the consistency of the mix and flied through with the living room. However, we had a big problem. Change of plan. So essentially, we have used more than half the bags for this one singular room because we've gone so deep. So we put a bit of timber here to block the water, and then we're going to finish the bathroom and the hallway today and leave this dining kitchen area for tomorrow. We're gonna get some more bags and finish that off. This isn't really the best thing to do because any joints in self-level screed creates a weak point. However, it being 12 o'clock at night, we didn't really have much choice because nowhere was open to buy any more. But in hindsight, I'm taking it as a sign because we made a few big problems with this first screed.
Right, it's the next day and we now have some set screed. And this stuff looks amazing. Now there was one big problem that we found this morning, and a cable decided to float up to the surface in the living room. So we've actually had to channel out a hole and slot the cable back under, which we're gonna re-screed over today. So we've learned our lesson pretty hard. Now we used this tape stuff to stick it down, but it's just not the best. So we've gone through and duct taped everywhere in the kitchen dining area. Hopefully, we'll have no more problems.
So it was day 2, we were stocked up with bags and there was no way anything bad could happen. That's what you would think, but then you realise you're watching the professional idiots. And the first job today was to try and join up where we left yesterday exactly perfectly level. And that was already proven to be more fiddly than we first thought. And in case you're wondering why self-level screed is so important for underfloor heating, it's not just to make the floor level. It also acts as a thermal insulator which makes the cables not get too hot. I learned that from underfloor heating, man. But one thing he didn't teach was how to figure out how many bags we'll need for the size of the area. This is an absolute nightmare. We're on our last bag now. That's the last one's mixed up. And we've still got this much left to do, which isn't enough. So Toby's basically having to dash to the shop, try and get more bags and come back before this stuff sets, because if it sets, it doesn't join very well, apart from if you've got a straight line there. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll pour this one and hopefully Toby can come back. And now the clock starts to tick. Every second that passes by, the floor gets more dry. And the more set it gets, the harder it becomes to level up together and make it pucker. So the second Toby got back, it was go time. Go, go, go. No time for satisfaction. The bags were straight into a mixer and we were knocking up a fresh batch. If we weren't quick enough, we was in for a big problem. But to our surprise, the second we started pouring it down, it blended in perfectly. And amongst the chaos, we forgot to record, however, this is how it was looking at the end. The room's finally done! And the craziest thing is, you can actually see the difference from where it started to set and the fresh stuff we've just laid because Toby took so long. But just before we could pack up the tools, we've got one last little patch. The floaty McFloaty in the living room. And after 2 days of hard work, it was finally time to wait for our screed to set. And whilst we did, Dan sniffed out a job. And he's sorting out Mum and Dad's electrics, swapping out this old fuse board for this pucker one. This fuse board was 60 years old and had no safety attachments. But you'll be glad to hear this new one does. So now, when I flick this switch, we have lights. And they shine directly down on our puckily set screed. But once and for all, we could finally see if our underfloor heating even worked. And just 30 minutes later,
our toes are so toasty. Look at this place. It's actually warm in here. Oh, Now I'm so excited for the parents to see this because they're never going to expect that we've installed underfloor heating. This is insane. What the hell? Whoa! Yo, look at these lines going. That's how you know it's working.
But now the underfloor heating was working all throughout and the dogs were loving it.
It's time to build our parents their dream kitchen.
Now this for us is super exciting, as this is how their kitchen looked previously. It doesn't look that bad at afar, but when you look closer, you can tell it was definitely used. Appliances were broken, extractor hoods were filthy, and after taking up the floor, we discovered some sort of mold. But now we have a clean, blank canvas to work from. We can start the kitchen install. And for this, we had a brilliant idea. We scoured the web for secondhand kitchens and found one with the exact shape.
Perfect.
And the next day, we was on our way to dismantle it. Who knew you could just steal a kitchen? And in the process of doing so, save loads of money. Now this is going to provide us with the perfect shell for our parents' dream kitchen. We're stripping away the doors and the countertops and just taking away the white carcasses. And once we had everything that we needed, we got the van loaded up and on our way home.
Alright, second-hand kitchen acquired. That is going to save us so much money, and we're going to try and reuse all of it.
So once we got back, we started putting the cabinets into their new home. This was a master plan and the cheapest way we could think of to get a brand new kitchen. But like always, all master plans have their flaws.
We have messed up by grabbing this kitchen. It turns out you can't find any doors to fit this at any kitchen company.
So essentially, all we bought was a load of rubbish and just paid someone to remove their kitchen.
What the hell?
But instead of just throwing them away, we were determined to make our money's worth. In the last episode, we cleared this out and started sorting it. And now we have an opportunity to replace the shelves.
Oh, this is gonna be such an upgrade. What? This is crazy already.
And we hadn't even commenced our master plan. By using the old overhead storage units, we can create some pucker storage.
Oh, it's pucker. It fits snug. Look at that. You can't get a tighter fit. This was meant to happen.
And we were so proud of our innovations.
That's very nice.
So that's the overhead storage units recycled, and for the rest of them, they have to meet their fate.
Woohoo! Hey! Alright, so all the old kitchen is now smashed up in the skip. It's time to go see how the parents are doing, check in on them and see how they're doing in the container tiny home kitchen. Where are you going, Toby? I'm gonna go see the parents. You miss at home?
Yes.
How'd you find the container kitchen?
It's very fully functioning. It's just a little bit smaller.
And we was going to use this moment right now to figure out if they were missing anything in particular.
Oh, we had a 4-hob. We've only got 2 here, so we cannot actually cook a roast dinner.
So you missed the 4-hob.
You spilled
Yeah, defo.
Yeah.
Draining board
So-
doesn't drain into the sink
Yes.
because the sink's
We
proud.
have no draining.
Oh yeah, just keep using tissues.
So I have at the moment.
And Joan's not happy with the food I cook her.
A lot of the viewers have said to us in the comments that you have seen some progress. Is that true?
Not a chance in the
seen a-
world. Nothing.
Nothing.
No,
at all.
nothing at
You've
all.
banned us from
You
every
have.
site.
You've deleted all of our
And all of our
accounts.
friends that watch you,
Oh,
they
it's been
say
so good.
nothing.
No,
And
they
they
are
really,
so
really don't want to see anything. I just want the surprise.
What's the hardest part of this whole thing?
Not knowing if I'm
Yeah.
going to be able to cook a Christmas dinner.
Not knowing when we can go home.
Yeah.
Not
Perfect.
knowing, yeah.
We'll just stick him in solitude for eternity.
And the funniest thing is that we have no idea when they can come back either. We have never renovated a home like this before.
Bye! Okay, and we're back to our bare shell of a kitchen. But if we look behind me, we've had a delivery! Let's get this kitchen built.
As nice as it would be to have our parents back at home, just being able to surprise our parents with something like this is the best feeling in the world. Today was a super proud day for us, as we was installing our parents' dream kitchen.
It's so bougie.
But what was meant to be a day of installing turned to be a nightmare, as there were so many flat packed boxes and we had no idea what was in each of them. So we got back to work. We decided the best plan of action was to unpack everything, so we figured out what we had, put it into position and get the feel for things.
Check out this kitchen. This is sick. What the hell? All the base units are in now, looking sick. It's big. It's way bigger than I thought this space would be.
It's so nice.
It's like 1.5 times more countertop space than the previous kitchen fills Pucker.
It's nice.
Mum is gonna lose her mind when she sees this. I cannot wait. And Dad's gonna love cooking in it. Oh, not right now because the oven's on the floor.
Fair enough.
Let's raise the oven up.
As you've probably guessed by now, our dad is a very big cook. And with our ever-growing family, Dad's roasts are only going to get bigger. So to help him with lifting those heavy pans, we're raising the oven up off the floor. And because ovens are so heavy, these kitchens have these supporting white brackets that you screw in, which make this thing puckily strong.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Push it back then.
But turns out installing kitchen cupboards aren't as simple as it first seemed. We didn't realise how an integrated thing, the back panel, shouldn't be there. So back out comes the oven for the 50th time, and it was time for us to multi-tool back the panel away where the oven was going to sit. However, we wanted to keep it above and below where the cupboards were. So we found out where they were going to be and pushed it away.
Pucker. Leave it like that.
Oh,
look at that.
that's nice, isn't it?
Oh!
Kitchen units are in, and it's soon time for us to start screwing it into place. But we've just realised we haven't told you what colour this kitchen's going to be.
Now, before we do so, previously, our mum said this.
I know you're crazy and you like colours and things, but don't know, I've always been a little bit bland.
So that's why we went for this bad boy. The neutral sandstone. And I'm sure Mum is going to love these.
So we started with installing the corner of the kitchen, and this was so fiddly. We had to multitask to make it level, strong, and look nice.
So the first corner of the kitchen is officially in, and it's rock solid. Look at that thing. And the reason that this corner was so important to get done is because this sets the premise of the entire kitchen. So now, fingers crossed, everything else flies in.
And away he goes.
And to our surprise, it actually did just fly in. These two storage cupboards just went in like a glove. And to our surprise, the big boy under the sink cupboard even did so too. But it felt like our wings got cut off when we started tackling this stupid integrated washing machine. The standard holes in the doors didn't line up with the brackets on the washing machine face, so we had to drill our own.
Come on. Oh!
What? Just off? No.
Yeah.
No. Just off. No.
And the first one failed, so we had to drill into another one.
And we're in!
And there's your corner. Now the hardest unit was in place, we're having a late night pizza break.
Because believe it or not, that unit took 3 hours to install. And the hard work wasn't even done. There's some stupid rule about washing machines that you have to raise them up off the floor at least 2 centimeters for it to fit the rest of the kitchen. I don't know who invented that, but you owe me a new back. But nevertheless, we got everything installed and called in our friend.
This is Richard. Give us a wave, Richard.
That wasn't a wave, Richard. But luckily, he's not the queen. He actually is here to help us with the plumbing. He started off by grabbing his massive hole cutter and poking to the outside. He's making use of the empty space by installing his waste pipes for the washing machine and dishwasher. Richard's been a family friend of ours for a few years now and was the man that helped me build a home in my parents' garage, which me and Maddie are still living in to this day. And the fact that he's still here helping us with our parents' dream home, Richard is going to be one of the best people I know. And before I had time to say anything else, Richard had already finished his first fixed plumbing. And behind the scenes, the idiots were working hard too.
Believe it or not, after 5 hours of hard work and fiddling around, we finally got the integrated corner sorted out. So let's show you around. First integrated unit is the washing machine. That's Pucker. And over here, we have the Pucker dishwasher. This thing is sick, and believe it or not, the last one in Mum and Dad's house actually stopped working, so it's gonna be so nice for them to have a dishwasher that actually works. And the reason why the further units took so long is because the wall is actually completely off. You can fit a whole pencil down the back of it. And the kitchen has to be completely square, otherwise it will look terrible. But for that gap, we'll have to deal with that in the next episode. For now, we've got these things to deal with.
The last thing to fix into place is the 2 massive larder units. And you wouldn't want these to fall on you. As you've seen earlier on, one's going to house the oven and one's going to house the integrated fridge. We're going to blow our dad's mind with the raised oven. And there's also another extra surprise we got for him that he has no idea about.
Remember when Dad said this?
Oh, we had a 4 hob. We've only got 2 here, so we cannot actually cook a roast dinner.
Well, we've got an upgraded his hob to not a 4 ring, but a 5 ring. He's gonna love this thing. Now this kitchen's so much bigger than the other one and it's way more open to the rest of the room. Such an upgrade.
Now, for the rest of the kitchen stuff like the sink, the countertops, and everything else that comes with this pucker stuff, you're gonna have to wait until next week's episode because this takes us way longer than the average person to install because we're idiots. And like always, guys, thank you so much for the support in this series because that is what's making this happening. Like, we cannot do this without you guys, so really appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And there is a new feature on YouTube, which means you can actually hype this video up. So go down there, scroll along, press hype because it helps us boost the new people. And hopefully you guys are excited for when we finally reveal this thing to our parents. Crazy!
Oh, that hits me.
Sorry. No.
I am a pan. There we go.
I hope you know you've scarred the viewers.
Darling! Where are you? Mommy!
Oh, very well, sorry.
It's